Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you think is important for me to know, or any final words that you'd like to say?
Just about the youth themselves, right? Like they're very like why programs like this are necessary, right? Like so these kids are extremely vulnerable. Um, they're hurting. They've been through a lot of trauma. They haven't had anybody in their lives from a very young age to sort of be that mentor to them, right? And they have a lot of distrust of authority figures and just believing that people are there to help them. And at a very young age, they've been thrust into having to make or carry a lot of incredibly large burdens. The stress of worrying about where you sleep at night, the stress of worrying about where your food's going to come from, the stress of being around a lot of violence and a lot of abuse. Like that's a lot for anybody to take, but especially like you're like a young person, their minds are not fully developed yet. Like they're not equipped to handle that kind of stress. So um, I think they really need people to kind of step in and be that safety net for them, and uh, to not expect them to just figure it out and to be tough and to, you know, uh, like to understand where they're coming from and how overwhelmed they are, and just kind of come alongside and say like, okay, yes, unfortunately, like your life is going to be harder than it would be for other people because of circumstances that you got thrown into, and it was not any fault of your own. You didn't ask for this, um, but also understanding that like it's okay to come alongside and be a helper, and to be a supporter, and to help them believe that they can change. Like that's where Restoring Hope, the name, comes from, is helping people. If you lose hope, if you think that there's no point, then you just settle into your situation, right? Like, and that's where people become stuck, and they get in like long-term homelessness, right? They or chronic homelessness, because they just kind of believe like this is all my life is meant for, and this is the best I can do, and we're really battling against that at and trying to like make sure that that doesn't settle in at a young age, so that they believe that they can change. So that's why we focus a lot on building them up, building up their self-esteem, helping them to have hope and trust in that things can get better. So um, I would say that that's really who we are as an organization. That's our focus for them. So